When I hear Republicans say, if Mamdani wins, it's good for us because it'll show the country how bad these people are, tell me, how many more examples do we need? Haven't the Marxists killed 100 million people? Aren't the Islamists slaughtering people as I speak? We don't need any more examples. And moreover, whether it's a political war, military war, whatever it is, you don't take your biggest city and give it to the enemy. You don't give them 1 inch. When you look at Mao or Lenin or Castro, people of this sort, monsters of this sort, what do you notice? You notice a couple of things. Number one, they don't come out of poverty. Mao was a teacher, Lenin was sort of a philosopher and so forth, and Castro was a lawyer. They're not people coming out of the impoverished areas, building a mass revolution to overthrow the government. These are people who are ideologues, top down, who are trying to build a mass revolution to impose on the people. And you'll notice they're never in a majority. Many of them aren't even in a plurality. It only takes 20, 30% to lead a revolution because most of the rest of the people are sitting back, they don't notice it, or they don't want to get involved, or there's silence. This is one of the things that bothers me today. I come here, I come on Fox, I come on my radio show, and I speak out. And I speak out about who I think is doing the wrong things, who I think is endangering this country, undermining our values and our principles, undermining our civil society. I explain to you who they are. The Marxist-Islamists, I explain to you by name who they are, the Catarlsons and others who are pushing a completely different type of approach, a bigoted one, as a matter of fact. And I try and point that out day in and day out. But I'll tell you what's amazing to me, conservative talk radio, where are all my brothers and sisters speaking out? Where are they? Whether it's cable or network TV, where are they? Whether it's platforms like this, digital TV, where are they? There's some. I can count on one hand. That's it. They're afraid. I don't know what it is. I don't much care. But it's time for good people who love this country to speak out. And to speak out loudly against these Marxists, Islamists, these Jew haters, these America haters. It's time, no matter who they are. Some people who you thought were our friends, who I thought were our friends, who were friends, who made a lot of sense in the past, they have lost their marbles. It doesn't mean you keep following them. You don't want your children to follow them, do you? How hard is it for people to distance themselves from racists and bigots and anti-Semites? From people who play footsie with Hitler and trash Churchill, or who platform Holocaust deniers or America haters, and then pretend that's America first. How hard is it to distance yourself from them? And if you're a public person, as am I, distancing yourself from them is the minimum. You should condemn them and call them out, whomever they are. They're a danger to our country, to our future. Now this group, the Democratic Socialists of America, it's Bernie Sanders, it's AOC, it's Tlaib, it's Omar, it's Mamdani, they intend to take over this country. And when I hear Republicans say, if Mamdani wins, it's good for us because it'll show the country how bad these people are, tell me, how many more examples do we need? Haven't the Marxists killed 100 million people? Aren't the Islamists slaughtering people as I speak? We don't need any more examples. And moreover, whether it's a political war, military war, whatever it is, you don't take your biggest city and give it to the enemy. You don't give them 1 inch. I had a friend of mine who you would know, but I'm not going to violate a confidence, who says, so what if they take the cities? If they take the cities, they win. What do you mean, so what if they take the cities? Maybe they're not familiar with the Civil War. The Union had the more populated areas. It doesn't mean they're with us necessarily, but the idea that it's okay if they take New York or Minneapolis or LA or Chicago or Philadelphia, so what? So what? Those are our cities. This is our country. And I think that line about, okay, who cares if they win? The rest of the country will see what they're like, comes from people who have no intention of lifting a finger or speaking out. It's wishful thinking. It's lazy thinking. It's dangerous thinking, if it's thinking at all. So I wanted to point that out to you. This is a very, very, very bad group, and that they're not about democratic socialists of America. They hate America. They're Marxists. There's nothing democratic about them, period. And of course, they're going to use lies, affordability. Show me one communist country on the face of the earth that's actually affordable. Well, it might be affordable if you like starving to death, but you get my point? Why would we take this fantastic country that we're all blessed to live in, however we got here, which has an abundance of everything, which if you want to make something of yourself, no matter what it is, you can if you try hard enough. Why would we take this blessing from God and destroy it and turn it over to Politburos and embrace gulags and on and on? We know what Marxism is about. We know what Islamism is about. Why would we even tolerate it? I fear it's a country in decline in many respects. That's what I'm worried about. That's why I keep speaking out. Now, in Dearborn, Michigan, I call it Dearbornistan. Now, this is really the birthplace of the automobile in the United States, is it not? This is where Ford has its headquarters. Now it's going to move it to the suburbs of Dearbornistan. Dearborn is basically a city that's now been taken over by radical Islamists. I'm told if you go there, there's signs everywhere in Arabic. People are speaking Arabic. That it's really like a third world city. It's not an American city, and this is the problem when people are brought into this country through open borders and other means, birthright citizenship and the rest, and they're not assimilating into our culture. You have what's going on in France, what's going on in London, and other parts of Europe and the West, which is what? You have these little fiefdoms of Islamism, and they're very intolerant. They don't tolerate Jews or Christians there. In fact, they're extremely radical, extremely radical. The truth is that many of these entities support Hamas and Hezbollah. These are terrorist organizations. For God's sakes, they've killed Americans. Hezbollah blew up 2 American embassies and killed Americans. Hezbollah blew up a Marine barracks and killed Marines. Hamas has slaughtered American citizens. And we have people in our own country that celebrate these entities. And then people wonder why there's violence. And Qatar pays for a lot of this. Qatar pays for what's going on in our colleges and universities. And the number one that dumps all this money into our country. I've done multiple programs on this. Doesn't seem to matter. Doesn't seem to matter at all. Maybe to you, the American people, I think it does.
For all this and much more, sign up for Levin TV.